All right, we are live. Today we are joined with our guest, Elizabeth Austin. We are going to talk about how Elizabeth has transformed her business from chasing to attracting, right? And if you're watching this live, let me go over here a little bit. If you're watching this live, go ahead, hit the smash that like button, put a thumbs up in the comment if you can hear us loud and clear. If you're watching on YouTube, make a comment as well. And so I wanted to talk about, and this is a topic that we are really starting to dive deeper in with how to attract business and not chase it, right? Everyone wants that coveted attraction base.
Warmer.
Yes.
They like you more.
Yep. Right. You're not having to face as much rejection. And so Elizabeth, kind of talk about your story, right? You've been in the business 6 years now.
Yep. I've been in 6 years now. Started with the team about 6 months after getting licensed. Did absolutely nothing before that except for leases. But when I came in, I'd actually just moved back to DFW and had only been here for about 6 to 8 months or so at this point. So my sphere was in a completely different state. I'm 23 or 24 years old. And whenever I joined the team, I had like all my family members, which most people start with, had just purchased within the last 3 years. So I had to start finding people that I didn't know in order to start getting business and start working with buyers and sellers. And so that's exactly what I did. I started working with cold leads that we were paying for as agents coming in online through different internet lead sources, and just really pounded the phones. Honestly, I would call 6 to 7 days a week. I would do 1,500 to 2,000 calls every single week after I figured out my groove and figured out that that's what I needed to do in order to get people to connect with me. And that's how within the first full year on the team, I ended up selling 33 homes and did 7.7 million in volume. And so that was, that's 7 days a week, that level of calls, that was my life every single day for a solid 1.5 to 2 years.
So 33 homes in your first 12 months with that prospecting based business, which means that you're chasing, right? You are chasing that business.
100%.
And by the way, if if you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, tag an agent and in the comments down below, hit that like button. That way we know that you can hear us loud and clear. If you watch to the very end, Elizabeth will be sharing a couple of bonus items here that you'll be able to get. So you'll most likely want to leave your email address so that she can send that out and make sure that when it does come alive here in the next couple of weeks, you'll want to know first. But let's talk about, for how long did you run that prospecting base, that chase style of business?
To that intensity, 1.5 to 2 years.
So 1.5 to 2 years, you were working 7 days a week of prospecting base. What did those lead sources look like?
Oh, that's a good question. We had some very organic lead sources through like Zillow and Realtor.com and things like that. We never really paid for those, but the organic ones we got from them at the time. I had some of those. Facebook, a few other sites that are like referral sites in the sense that they go ahead and give you the lead. And if you convert it, then you pay them a referral fee, but not like a warm agent-to-agent referral style lead. It's still a cold business at that point. What else was just whatever? What were you paying for?
Expired for sell by owners.
Well, okay, so that did start. Sorry,
right.
But that first year I was on the team, I only worked with buyers, which is why my mind's focused there. After that first year, I started working with both. And then, yes, you're correct. For sale by owners, no, not ever. I attempted it, but I've never converted a single one. Expireds, yes, that became a great, strong lead source for me because it matched my personality style.
So at what point did you get burned out on the prospecting based method, or at what point did you have that mindset? Because I remember us having the conversation to transform your business into that attraction base. So what were those steps, and at what point did you feel that you were ready to go into that attraction based path?
I don't know if anyone doesn't want to become more of an attraction-based agent where business starts to come to you. So I don't know that I thought what naturally started happening with that, which kind of like I would, longevity and just time in this business, as long as you are productive and constantly working, will eventually should result in past clients coming back if you do your job of staying in touch with them. So that naturally, organically started to happen. And I think it was really the exposure to that when past clients occasionally would come back pretty quickly being like, wow, this is really nice actually, because they trust me. Like you said, I'm not facing as much rejection. I'm not facing as many battles. I'm not having to earn as much trust from people who don't know me from Adam. Like that was really, really nice. And so I think it was from there. I would have moments of burnout with prospecting where I would go so hard, I would burn out, that I would want to just take my foot completely off the gas, and then eventually I would go it again. And honestly, that pattern has never fully stopped. So,
well, and most people go through even in the business. I mean, this is even with the attraction base, it's a stressful business, right? So you go through that burnout at times. You have to figure out, how do you best recharge? How do you best,
well, and taking my foot off the gas also was never no closings for me either. It's just like less closings that month. And I think that that's kind of important to note, because that's also the benefit of prospecting, right? Is you're always trying to keep some level of business there. So even though agents' business do that, if mine can do that a little bit, but always going up, that was the goal.
Absolutely. So when you started, were you intentional about your attraction, right? You definitely had your lead sources. So when you were in the prospecting based mindset, you had your internet leads, you had your expireds, and within that internet lead category, it came into like the referral sites and stuff like that.
Right.
So in your attraction based model now that you're running, you definitely have your coveted lead sources. So were you very intentional about that, or did they just happen to come about?
No, it was definitely intentional. It started with me documenting what I was doing on social media. And that started to be where I got the attention of like other agents starting to see what I was doing. And agent referrals, because of that, has become my number 2 lead source, I would say. But so what I would do is, it was mostly at Facebook at the time, and now it's Facebook to Instagram. Instagram's probably my number 1, but Facebook maybe my number 2, and I'm working on building up my YouTube. But it started with documenting my action. So if I was out there just showing homes that day, I would even just talk about who I'm showing, what I'm doing, and maybe didn't say that I'm writing an offer or that I got any listing agreement signed or anything like that. Then I started sharing the success stories of my closings. And I don't just post my closings. I like to tell a story behind them. And then I kind of started educating after that, after I had experience from the deals. And so that's kind of the evolution of my social media presence, but that consistent presence through video. And you can go back and find some of my first Facebook videos. They are awkward and uncomfortable, and my face looks so stressed. And you can probably tell I've got a Post-it note behind me where I'm trying to read and remember what I want to say in this video. But doing that consistently, the funny part is I was actually looking for consumer attention from that, wanting to attract more buyers and sellers in, but I actually got the attention of other agents, and that worked really well from an agent-to-agent attraction standpoint, or a referral standpoint.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you right now, not just you, but another good friend of ours, Matt Kelderman. He's built his agent-to-agent referral. There's a lot of opportunity in having that agent-to-agent referral lead source. Because when that agent's recommending or referring you, you already at an elevated expert level status, right?
100%. And then when I would go to any sort of happy hours, work events, national conferences, anything like that, I'm sitting there and I'm networking. And then when you're combining the networking with the presence of what you're doing on social media, it really helps you gain that notoriety, so that whenever you're competing for these referrals, you have the opportunity, and like you said, that level up to kind of win them.
Absolutely. Again, if you're watching this live or watching the replay, hit that like button, share this out, tag an agent if this is helpful. If you know someone, whether you're new in the business or maybe you're a veteran in the business and you're really wanting to up your attraction game to get more clients. Maybe it's through the agent-agent referrals. Maybe it's through, I want to learn how you're getting the repeat in your Sphere business going, right? This is what we coined. If you watched yesterday's video that I did with David Mitnick about how he's using QR codes in his business, how he's using video in his business, this is all about collaboration over competition, right? And how these videos really started to come about is even yesterday. Unfortunately, I had an agent who was supposed to be on our show, and I don't know if the brokerage didn't want him on there, whatever it is, but us as agents need to be highlighting what we're doing to make our industry better, right? That also can help you get in front of more agents, and that can start helping you win that agent-agent referral game. And so are you doing anything else right now strategically to stay in contact with your agents, to stay top of mind for them so that when they do have a Dallas-Fort Worth referral for you, that you are the go-to person?
I mean, honestly, some of that I'm working on building out still, the same way that I want to build out and take care of like my top clients who either refer me or do consistent business with me over the years. I want to do the same thing of taking care of these top referrers, whether that's actually sending me business or once again thinking of me when someone's looking for a Dallas-Fort Worth agent. I mean, there are certain things where, I've got certain agents that I've sent referrals to. If I know that they do good business, we make sure to help tag each other. There's different things that we do in different Facebook groups to make sure that we're some of the top agents that are going to get tagged when we're competing. Because the thing is even though it's referral and it sounds warm up front, there is intense competition, especially when someone is asking on Facebook or a social media platform of some sort, looking for an agent here, especially in our area, because it's so
competitive.
It's so competitive with agents. I'm not a one-off agent here. There's literally hundreds that are going to get tagged in this.
I'm happy you brought that up. Before we get into your repeat and your Sphere referral business, let's talk about developing that unique value proposition or USP, unique selling proposition, right? You still have to, in the agent-to-agent referral game, you still have to understand what your skills are, and you have to be able to present that to the agent in order to hopefully gain their trust and gain that referral. So how did you develop that your basically your UVP, right? Your unique value proposition, because you do have, you send out a text, you send out, your stats.
Like I won one yesterday where we didn't even notice it for 2 or 3 hours after someone had posted. And if you've fought or competed in those at all, then a lot of the time, sometimes that agent who's asking doesn't actually vet anyone, will just go with the first one. So just like if I'm competing for a seller, if I know their mindset, then I know how to go in and how to present. So like we know roughly expireds have kind of a certain attitude and a certain mindset, regardless of person to person or home to home. There are some generalities you can put on them when you're just trying to prospect for them and get that appointment. Same thing, like I can realize, hey, like, let me actually show you proof rather than play this Facebook popularity game. Talking about, like, I know that I actually personally work with the referral. I do not hand these referrals off. There's a lot of people in there who are team owners like Nick or someone who is going to fight because maybe their name has a little bit more notoriety, but they themselves aren't going to be handling the referral. If you know the agent at all, that can be really helpful. This is a really funny story. There was one who was looking to help her best friend, and she was like, listen, you have got to be able to cuss like a sailor and hold your liquor. And so I just sent her a message where I didn't talk about anything that I do from a sales standpoint. And I was like, I love that I can be inappropriate and just speak my mind. I was like, do I have to drink bourbon like them, or is it okay if it's rosé? And I'm just like joking around, shooting the shit. And I was like, by the way, it doesn't seem like you care about it, but I also do have stats and strategies and references and everything I can provide you. But if you care about that. And then she was like, totally love you. I'll send you the information. And I got connected and won the referral. So it's doing little things like that of like, if I can also tailor myself to what the agent is saying when they're requesting for an agent, I need to do that. I need to be able to be a chameleon. But other than that, I need to know what they're looking for and what maybe their past experiences, or get ahead of the way that they're about to even make a decision. Hey, don't just go with that first one. Let me prove this to you. And that one that we didn't even get tagged in it until 3 hours after they posted, I'm connecting with that client today.
Perfect. So, I mean, there's some great strategy in there. Let's move on to your repeat and referral business, right? Because look, there's definitely, you had mentioned while we were kind of strategizing about this, you mentioned, your repeat business has longevity.
Yeah.
Helps.
Longevity helps.
Right. Of course, longer in your business and you do a good job.
And the more cold business you work with, and then you stay in touch with them, hopefully they come back.
Absolutely. But you've been intentional with staying in front of them, right? And really COVID helped you with that. So let's talk about that, because that also then leads into your Sphere referral business as well.
100%. So even before I get into like COVID, a few things that I did to continue to grow that, and this sounds so silly, was show up to closings. If you're a prospecting mindset, especially if you have all been in business like with this one and how we used to work, it would be, I'm focused on the next deal. That one's closing, it's done. And, realizing it's the relationship and that matters. And I'm also working with these people that I like. So I want a relationship with them. I would want to work with more people like them. So showing up to closing, being there for them that way and not just treating them like a transaction, that's a huge one that a lot of agents possibly miss out on. And then us doing client appreciation events. So letting them know how much we appreciate by giving back to them a few times a year when we can. And then before COVID, there were just general touch points, like maybe anniversary touch points, homestead exemption, helping them file and save money on their taxes every year, different things like that. I also engage with most of them on social media so that we can stay in front of one another and just with their families, and I can see changes. And I really, really like that. But you were right. When COVID hit, I felt like a lot of people, if they were scared about losing their jobs, would be scared of what's going to happen to their home, ability to pay for their home. A lot of people are sitting on equity. Do they need to be able to tap into that equity if they were going to go without a paycheck? So I started sending videos via text to my clients or my past clients every 1 to 2 weeks. Honestly, it wasn't systematized that I do it every 2 weeks. It was as soon as I had a market update. So when we're not maybe in a crisis, it won't be as frequent for their sanity because I think they'll block me at that point. But at that time, I think it was information that people really wanted in a really uncertain time. So I just sent that out and kept them updated and kept in touch. And then it's evolved from there, from doing those video messages.
So from that though, what did your repeat business? I mean, look, even in longevity, people typically sell and buy every 7 to 10 years. And so you've been intentional with staying in front of them, but when you've been able to help people sell a lot sooner than that 7 to 10 year mark, and it's because are you updating them with what's going on in the market, and they're seeing the price and they're able to take advantage of that? What is that specifically? Because you do have more than that than some of the other people that have been in the business longer.
Totally. So I think one thing that was a switch for me a few years ago was figuring out, whenever I come in contact with the client, even if it's the first time we're working together, what is overall your long-term goals within real estate? And if you stay within this home, what is your ideas of this? Because if someone's going to tell me, well, this is my starter home and I'm going to move, or, let me know when interest rates hit here because I know I want to sell and then buy my next home or something like that, then I can keep these kind of markers and indicators so that I know and can keep an eye on the market for you, for my past clients. And I definitely have had moments where they're like, if it hits here or prices it here, let me know when I'm selling. And that's one of the ways is it's more than just some of those generic touches. It's knowing what their goal is within real estate as a whole or for their family in the future and keeping an eye on, like I've got someone right now who's even going to sell between now and the next year. And they were like, the moment you start to feel a little bit of a shift in the market, you let me know because we don't want to miss out on this. And I had to go to them 2 to 3 weeks actually after that appointment and say, this almost feels bait and switchy, but I'm starting to feel a shift in the market and I can show it to you from these stats. And we're going to be getting on the market in the next 2 weeks. And I was able to prove that with data so that it doesn't seem like I just want to sell, because it is tricky when you're coming back that quick, but it's knowing their goals so that I can guide them on that.
So if you're watching this live or watching the replay on this, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, comment, like it, tag an agent in this, right? Because this is great information on how to transform your business or how to run your business from the start to attraction-based, not chasing, right? And we do believe, look, the industry is going to that, right? When I got in in 2005 and really started full-time in 2007, I was a chaser, right? I went after the Expire games. I was an internet lead generator. I went after Craigslist, and it was, call, smile, and dial. So call, and then let's call some more, right? And as we evolve, right, less and less people are wanting to answer their phone with numbers they don't know, right? Less and less people are even responding to text messages, right? Because before the way that you could still get in front was the text messaging part. So, as we continue to evolve in the industry, right, and the old school prospecting based methods are going to become second and third dairy, right? So, or third, is it third dairy?
Just
third.
I don't know what it is. That didn't sound right.
It didn't sound right at all. Secondary, and then third, and then fourth, right? And then eventually it's going to be more, running that specialty, that niche style market.
Well, getting into that, I mean, service matters. Your relationships with people do matter. And if you would have asked me that year 1 or 2 in the business, I probably would not give you the same answer I'm going to get today with such an emphasis on that. But the way that I work with this client and use the strategy that I have to think outside the box to help them win, regardless of what the marketplace is, that plays a big part, because I've had clients come to me and say, thank you for making this experience so great. I worked with this other agent before, and these are people that I know who are also like high producing, I would consider good agents, but they didn't, connecting with someone or understanding their motivation and not my own just to get them into a home, that matters to the service that I give to them and provide to them. And then that's where I'm getting the referrals from them.
Well, that, and then let's talk about as we wrap this up. And again, if you're watching this live or the replay, hit that like button, comment, tag an agent in this, as well as you'll want to watch to the very end so that you'll be able to get on Elizabeth's list for her classes that she's about to release. By the way, it's going to be, little spoiler, it's going to be strategically on how to build your agent-agent referral, your referral business. That's one of them. So that will be a blueprint. So you'll want to get with her, leave your email address, find a way to connect with her, whether it's call, text, snail mail. Yeah, it's going to be free.
But I need your contact info to get it to you.
Yep, absolutely. And so from that, you've also really been able to work your past client to also get into their sphere through client events.
Yes.
Right. And so that's something that the Good Home team does, but each agent needs to be able to get their clients there. So talk a little bit about,
can do it. Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit more.
Well, I mean, just in general, the fact that I don't even know if there's much to say to it other than offering something to your clients as a thank you and as a benefit for choosing us, because there are so many people that they can choose, and being in business with us. A big tweak to that was, for the longest time when we did these events, we just invited for free, of course, at our expense, our clients to it. But then we opened it up so that we can bring their friends, we can bring other people that they may want to invite and to expose to us as well. That was actually a game changer. And for you as the agents, an increased cost with potential no return. But that is where you have to look at almost like reciprocity here. And is it worth the, do I risk this investment in order to try and gain more clients? Because if they're bringing people, they're probably bringing people like them. And that's what's important, is I want to work with people like the ones I'm inviting to these events.
Well, it's a long-term game, right? So if you're able to, if I invite you, Elizabeth, and I say, by the way, our event, you bring a friend, bring some friends.
Yeah.
Right. We do need their contact information in order to invite them, to let them in, whatever.
It also makes it more fun for them so that they actually show up, so that
Yes.
you can still stay in contact with them.
Absolutely. And then what you end up doing is you take photos, you're able to connect with them, you're chatting with them, reliving, because typically the conversation always typically revolves around their house or their real estate needs, et cetera, because they're at a real estate client event.
Yeah.
And so, and then the last of it is even if they don't show up, it's the invite.
Yeah.
Right. If you saw if you saw one of your friends throw a party, and even though, let's say that you're busy that day and you couldn't have come, but you did not get an invite, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, like shit.
Like shit, right? But if you got that invitation and respectfully declined because you had previous engagements, it's still about the invite. That is number one. That is the most important part, is the invite. The second part is then the connection at the event. And then third is make sure that you're documenting through photos, through video of it, so that you're able to post it online. You're able to share it back with your clients, so that, you want to start creating that FOMO.
Yeah, you do. I want you to miss out. I also want you to know that if you don't go with me and don't give me the opportunity, that you're probably not going to then come to those events if you're no longer a client of ours. Because I want that to be another perk, that not only do I hit it out of the ballpark for you when I'm helping you buy or sell, but then these are the extra perks you get multiple times year over year, even though you're still only buying once every 5 years.
Absolutely. So if this has been valuable to you, right, from you want to build an attraction-based business, right? You want to come from trust and expert level authority, then I would connect with Elizabeth. Tag an agent, hit that like button, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and then share your two. Obviously we teased your agent referral blueprint.
Yes, that's going to be a free blueprint that's going to be coming out soon. But next Wednesday, which is the 30th, I believe, From 10 to 12 at Lawyers Title and Plano, I am going to be teaching a class on how to get your offer accepted in a multiple offer situation for your buyers, how you can help your buyers compete in this low inventory market.
Right. And this low inventory market's not getting any better anytime soon. So if you can up your skill set on helping your buyers.
So on average, all of my clients are getting into their home within 1 to 2 offers on homes. I know the agents are out there and there was a post the other day that says we offered on 10 before we got to this one. This was their 11th home. I've got one client who's the exception to this right now, but just by barely. Otherwise, the average for my clients is 1 to 2 offers to get into a home. So
again, how would you like to not have as many tired and frustrated buyer clients right now?
Yeah,
I know we would, right? I know that definitely, by the way, I'm sure that helps you get more referrals.
Oh, 100% it does.
Right?
Especially when they see the strategies I'm doing to either get their offer accepted, to get them into homes, gets me more referrals. But nothing also sucks more than how much time you spend and how many offers and homes you show for them to get so burnt out that then they just give up altogether. And now you have lost out on a client and you were negative in the hole.
So Elizabeth will drop her comments below, but you can go to elizabethaustin.work.
Yep.
elizabethaustin.work, connect with her, get on there, give her your email address so that you can get that agent-to-agent referral blueprint, as well as if you're not here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, right? 1, send her referrals. She's an amazing agent. 2, make sure that you get on her list so that you can see when her class for how to compete in a multiple offer market and get your buyers under contract a lot faster, right? So connect with her. Thank you for watching this. We'll do more of these. Comment, tag an agent if you're watching this, watching the replay. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and have a great day.